Welcome back to Southpaw Picks, and you're here with your host Charles, and this is UFC London. We got Blaydes versus Aspinall, 14 fights on the docket, a lot of exciting matchups. Definitely not the most amount of betting opportunities, but we found a couple of good spots early in the week, so I'll share with you guys. But quickly, we'll just jump to the recap. Last week we go 7-5 in predictions, but we profit on monster 11 units. Now, the only pick I actually went and made a decisive decision after seeing round one, even though my guy won round one, in my opinion, was just based on the actual physicality that I noticed in that round. So I put a little live bet on Ricky Simone. So that's the only pick that I flip-flopped on, I would say, this week. But aside from that, everything goes according to plan. Now, there we go, double-digit weekend, and we're looking to carry this on into this weekend. But you know what? Before I get into that as well, I got a lot of early spots, a lot of safe spots. I'm not going to be too adventurous this time. Even though we're coming off a monster weekend, I'm going to tread lightly this one. So let's get into it, man. What an exciting card and 14 fights, and I'm going to try and run you guys through this nice and smooth. We got Curtis Blaydes versus Tom Aspinall. Curtis Blaydes coming in 16-3. Tom Aspinall coming in 12-2. Now, I like to think that both these guys are in a position where if they fought each other multiple series of times, there would be a different series of outcomes. Now, the fact of the matter of this being in Tommy's backyard, kind of set up as a homecoming, and a guy that I feel like is humble and not going to let the pressure get to him too much, I can't see him getting the victory in this matchup. Curtis Blaydes to me isn't big enough as an underdog for me to say that you just got to take the shot on him. But such a high-level matchup, and we really just got to see who's going to bring it at this very moment, because they both got the skills to take each other out. And I love both these guys. The heavyweights, very dangerous. But I'm going to side with the hometown kid here and Tom Aspinall. And I'm going to say he gets it done. You know, it's in his backyard. It's set up for him. He's quick. He's capable of getting the job done. And I think he's going to be the better man that night. Curtis Blaydes traveling all the way. Different time zones. Give it up for Tom Aspinall. And I think he parlays this into a possible title shot, or one more at least for title contention. So give me Tommy Aspinall. But not a fight I'm looking in financially to get involved in until everything else prior, hits, right? Then I'll maybe have a little fun in the main event. But let's get to the co-main event here. We got Jack Hermansson versus Chris Curtis. Jack Hermansson 22-7. Chris Curtis 29-8 according to Tapology. Obviously, Chris Curtis coming in here on a streak. He's been nothing but good money. Obviously, I'm coming off betting on him against Rodolfo Vieira. And Jack Hermansson's been a kind of guy to me that I kind of haven't seen, to really appreciate for what he does. He's capable of mixing up the arts, and I understand there's also been numerous examples on how to get it done. But we got to respect a guy in Jack Hermansson who's obviously been fighting top tier talent, and this kind of reminds me of a situation of where we saw Kevin Holland make a run in the middleweight division and get as high as he could as a welterweight, because obviously welterweight is a much more skilled division overall. So it's harder to really scale up the ranks of the welterweight division opposed to scaling up the ranks of the middleweight division. But understand that the ranked middleweights are formidable, and this is a big jump for Chris Curtis, a guy in Jack Hermansson who's been a mainstay for a couple of years. I know he hasn't always put on the best performance, but he's fighting the best guys. And in this matchup, this is going to be a time where I jump off Chris Curtis. I do think the streak ends here. I do think even money on Jack Hermansson is fantastic. He's the younger man. He's the bigger man. And, he's the more established in this division. Give me the Joker. Give me Jack Hermansson. And this is a play that I like as a straight shot, and one I will be looking to play myself. I got some feedback of people saying you want my confident leans. That's a confident lean for me, guys. I do like that, I would say. And it's a spot I will be taking a shot at myself. Moving on down the card, we got Paddy, the baddie Pimblett, coming in 18-3 versus Jordan Leavitt coming in 10-1. And this is in the lightweight division. Now, Paddy the baddie, he's that kid. He's the boy, right? I mean, a lot of style, a lot of sauce. Me coming off a situation where I faded him in his debut with Luigi Vendramini and seeing that guy persevere, but still thinking like, man, I feel like I feel like Bendermini could have got that done, but he didn't get that done. And Paddy has that aura about him. He's special. Jordan Leavitt, interesting case where a guy that I picked him in certain spots to beat, like Matt Sales. Other spots, I faded him, like Trey Ogden. I was successful with Claudio Puelles. So I feel like I understand the level of lightweight it's going to take to beat Jordan Leavitt. But at the same time, I feel like Paddy the Baddy, was in a situation where I thought Luigi Bendermini could have gave him a bit of a fight. But I was proven wrong. At 18-3, he's already had his ups and downs. I feel like he's the complete package. I do think he's a bit of a better athlete, a faster twitch athlete than Jordan Leavitt here. And I feel like he's going to use his ability in grappling to negate the ability of Jordan Leavitt here. And I think he's going to light him up on the feet. I feel like the pressure of the crowd will get to Leavitt here. I understand the dog shot if you want to take the role because you don't think Paddy is legit, but I do think Paddy's got something special about him, and I think he gets this done. Give me Paddy the Baddy, and give me him by second round KO. Moving on down the card here, we got Nikita Krylov versus Alexander Gustafsson. Krylov coming in here at 27-9, and Gustafsson coming in here 18-7. I don't see how you can bet on old Alexander Gustafsson at this point. He came in shape, yes, but he was really moving around like an old guy there at weigh-ins, and really just, even though he had a size advantage, just doesn't look like the guy he used to look like back in the day. And I feel like we should all take that into consideration. The only thing really getting me to stay off Nikita here is obviously the price and the fact that we've seen Nikita in many situations, give up fights that he probably could have made a couple different choices and had different outcomes. But at 27-9, I got to give the guy a break. He's still the younger guy. He's always fighting elite level competition, and I'm assuming he's going to get better. And I'm going to respect the fact that Paul Craig might be more dangerous than we think. Give me the younger man here, Nikita Krylov, and I'll say that he wins this fight via submission, rear naked choke in the third round. Moving on down the card, we got a flyweight bout. Molly Meatball McCann coming in 12-4, and Hannah Goldy coming in 6-2. I took Diana Belbita against Hannah Goldy. She's not a fighter that I'm impressed with. Physicality, the muscles is cool. The price of Molly McCann is outrageous, but a confident pick in my opinion. I think Molly is completely the better fighter here. Way better hands, way better hand speed, grappling ability, and the hometown crowd, the energy, and the pace. Give me Molly McCann here. I'm not going to say a finish. I'm going to say Hannah Goldy hangs around long enough to take a beating for 15 minutes. But this is a confident lean of mine here, too. Give me Molly McCann by unanimous decision. And here we go down the card again. We got Paul Craig versus Volkan Oezdemir. And, Craig coming here 16-4, and Volkan coming here 17-6. Both guys top light heavyweights. And, Paul Craig's been someone that's been completely pulling it together there in the octagon. He's someone with fight-ending jiu-jitsu. We've seen Volkan choked and manhandled on the ground on many occasions, but we've also seen Paul Craig sparked out on the feet. I just like the momentum of Paul Craig right now. I like the belief in himself. I don't think Volkan is having the same belief in himself after his recent outings. I'm going to go with the momentum here. Give me Paul Craig by submission in the second round. Now we got another fight where I love this matchup, although the size discrepancy did throw me off a bit, but one guy was wearing shoes, one guy wasn't, so I'm gonna give that a bit of leeway. We got Ľudovít Klein here versus Mason Jones. Now I've loved Mason Jones's work, and this is coming from a guy that's just trying to fade him with Mike Davis and David Onama, right? But in both cases, just so impressed with the fighter that Mason Jones is. He's so tough. He's just a dog. He brings a relentless pressure. And I'm also a guy here that has taken a couple shots on Klein. And I know Klein has a sneaky ability to look phenomenal in certain spots here. Big crowd, hometown crowd. Mason Jones being just a big pressure-sized fighter in this lightweight division. I know Klein has the ability to turn his lights out with the left high kick. The price is large, but it's a price that I will be taking a shot at, knowing that I'm going to be sweating here. Give me Mason Jones in a dog of a fight, and I have Mason Jones winning by a second round submission. Moving on down the card here, we got Marc Diakiese versus Damir Hadžović. Man, oh man, Marc Diakiese coming in here 15-5, and Damir Hadžović coming here 14-6. Marc Diakiese to me is the play on this card, the way better athlete. To me, way better striking, and obviously the gas tank and the ability to grapple. Damir Hadžović to me is just, you know, basic striker, Muay Thai striker. Throws heavy hands. Definitely, you know, on a mistake on Marc Diakiese, could land a big shot, drop him, and get on top of him. But, you know, I'm going to trust Marc Diakiese to be on point that night, right? To be himself and be on point and get the job done. And that's a spot I am targeting. Give me the bone crusher, Marc Diakiese. Moving on down the card here, we got a featherweight bout between Nathaniel Wood coming in 17-5 versus Charles Rosa coming in 14-7. Charles Rosa is a guy that I've never backed. Nathaniel Wood is also a guy that I've never backed. And, you know, I like the size advantage here for Charles Rosa. I think that was very clear at the weigh-ins. He's worth a sprinkle. He's worth taking a shot at. Maybe something I might look at. Maybe throw a quarter of a unit on it just to get involved at that price line. You know, especially after seeing Nathaniel Wood drop the ball as a favorite to John Dawson. You know, he is susceptible. I know people are going to say the weight cut and he's up a weight class, but he's up a weight class against a guy in Charles Rosa who's used to dealing with these big featherweights and used to dealing with high-level featherweights. So I'm going to say all the values on Charles Rosa to put a quarter of a unit, but I'm going to say Nathaniel Wood, being the younger, fresher fighter, maybe finds a way to steal a close victory in his hometown. So I'm going to say Nathaniel Wood. Official prediction, but as far as betting, you got to take a sprinkle on Charles Rosa if you're dog hunting. Moving on down here, we got Makwan Amirkhani versus Jonathan Pearce. Makwan coming in 17-7. Jonathan Pearce coming in 12-4. This is a very good featherweight bout. Makwan definitely with the ability to snatch the neck of Jonathan Pearce, and Jonathan Pearce with the relentless gas tank and pressure to probably wear out Makwan if the fight gets drawn out. Now, man, Jonathan Pearce stays safe. He wins this fight, right? But Jonathan Pearce, to me, has showed lots of levels of vulnerability, and at 12-4 in his career, I just feel like he's just susceptible to making another mistake. I'm going to go with Makwan Amirkhani. I think he's, you know, it's just the most logical to take him as a dog here, because all he needs is just 1 second, and if the fight engages in the grappling, he will have his opportunity, and he's showcased that, like, if he gets that opportunity, he does seize it. Now, if Jonathan Pearce has the ability to defend these type of submissions from this type of high-level grappler, yes, I do believe as the fight goes on, he could eventually get top control during the scrambles and wear him out. But not at that price. I think Makwan just has the experience. Give me Makwan Amirkhani here, and I say he wins this fight by Darce choke in the second round. Moving on down the card, we got Muhammad Mokaev versus Charles Johnson in the flyweight division. Mokaev coming in 6-0, and Charles Johnson coming in 11-2. Man, I like a lot of people that were boosting the narrative that, you know, Charles Johnson is a good dog, and I think that's fair. I think he's going to make this fight competitive in certain spots, but Muhammad Mokaev is the truth. He's another guy that I'm backing confidently. Another kid that I just feel like he's the best prospect in MMA, and a guy that I feel like is not going to make, you know, Charles Johnson is going to make this fight look a little bit more competitive. I feel like Muhammad is going to show us a little bit more things, but I still think he gets it done. I feel like he wins this fight via TKO in the third round. And Charles Johnson puts up a, you know, a competitive back and forth fight. Probably lands a couple big shots, but Mokaev, over the course of, you know, 12 to 15 minutes, just showcases he's just levels above and gets the job done there. So Muhammad Mokaev is a definite spot of mine. Moving on down the card here, we got Jai Herbert versus Kyle Nelson. This is a lightweight bout. Jai Herbert coming in 11-4. Kyle Nelson coming in 13-4. Now, these guys have obviously similar situations, both winning one fight in the UFC and losing 3 by finish. Kyle Nelson, to me, just is not going to have the speed or the capabilities to deal with Jai Herbert on the feet. So he's going to have to showcase a bit of grappling. Now, we saw Jai Herbert just really get manhandled by Renato Moicano, but we know Renato Moicano is a high-level grappler in this lightweight division. So, you know, it's difficult for you to really gauge on where Jai Herbert's at. He's had a lot of different circumstances. He was winning that Ronaldo fight, in my opinion, till he got cracked. put comma worthy out, but a lot of people are putting comma worthy out. So it's like, okay, if you're good enough, you're gonna get the job done. And then there's another spot where you know, he almost gets out Ilia Topuria, but Ilia Topuria rallies back to get the victory and shut his lights out. So we've seen Jai Herbert get put out with heavy hands, and we got a guy that's got heavy hands. You know, if Jai Herbert can, you know, not get caught, I feel like Kyle Nelson doesn't have a chance in hell to even keep up with the speed of him. But Jai Herbert has given you that reason to question him. At minus 300, he's a guy that I would like to pick, but he's a guy that I'm going to stay away of just because he has showcased the fact twice that he'll make these mistakes and get caught. So would have loved to be on Jai Herbert, honestly, but not a fight that I could put my money on. So I'm going to pick Jai Herbert to pull it off, but cross my fingers, and I'm going to watch. And if I miss out on this minus 300, I ain't going to cry about it. Moving on down the card here, we got a flyweight bout between Mandy Böhm versus Victoria Leonardo. Leonardo coming in at 8-4, and Mandy Böhm coming in 7-1. Now, I faded Mandy Böhm in her debut. I liked Ariane Liski in that spot. Victoria Leonardo is another girl where she's just gone up against a tough level of competition. Here we got Victoria Leonardo, who's coming in here with a tough schedule of competition. You got Melissa Gatto, you got Manel Fierro. So, you know, it's hard to gauge really how much she can offer. Seeing her on the Contender Series 2, it was a setup fight for that Chelsea Hackett girl, I remember. But, you know, she was very inexperienced and got taken to the ground and put out easily. So, you know, that was a spot where Victoria Leonardo could have prospered. Now, you know, she's got in there and got finished by all UFC level talent. I like the size advantage for Mandy Böhm. The price now is reasonable. Where it was at, you know, her being like a minus 150, minus 160, no, not worth it. But coming in here at minus 125, I pick them. I think you got to roll Mandy Böhm and just say it was UFC jitters, and I think she's going to come out here and showcase her ability. She's the longer fighter, longer weapons, you know, size advantage here, striking ability, good movement on the feet. Victoria Leonardo, very plodding. You know, not a fight that you want to have a lot invested in, but I'm going to pick Mandy Böhm to bounce back after her UFC debut. And moving on down the card to the opening prelim, we got Nicolas Dalby versus Claudio Silva. Dalby coming in here 19-4, and Claudio Silva coming in here 14-3. Guys, about that, I feel like everybody should just sit back and just enjoy and not go too crazy on. But a fight that I'm not even going to get involved on. Dalby's a 2-1 favorite and a guy that you've seen drop the ball. He has the ability to win the fight, but he's a guy that makes a lot of mistakes. Claudio Silva's a guy that's past his prime, but does have the capabilities to end this fight. I'm going to side with the younger guy. Even though he's old, that's in better shape. I'm going to say Dalby can edge this out in a close decision, standing on the outside, landing good shots, and avoiding the grappling exchanges. That brings us to the end of UFC London. You know, a lot of heavy favorites on this card, 14 fights not to mention. So we're going to have a lot of action early in the morning here on the East Coast. But yeah, I'm excited. But only a few spots that I'm targeting. So I'm going to say my most confidence picks of the card, Muhammad Mokaev. Moving on down, Marc Diakiese, one of my confidence spots. Mason Jones is going to be a sweat, but confident. Molly McCann, confident. I like Nikita Krylov, and I'm interested in it. Jack Hermansson is a spot I'm definitely taking a shot on. And, you know, I'm going to have some fun with Paddy the Baddy. He said Jordan Leavitt doesn't get out the first round. I'll sprinkle a little bit on that. And not to mention dogs that I'm looking to target on this card that haven't made a play on yet. Makwan Amirkhani. We'll see how the night shapens up. Probably going to take a little slight shot at Paul Craig. And yeah, but you know, keeping it safe, keeping it polished. I do like the spots I already got. I got a couple plays on them earlier in the week, so my numbers are a bit better than what's currently available. So a lot of those guys got to do is go out there and get the job done. So thank you guys again for coming and stopping by at Southpaw Picks. We're doing phenomenal here, man. 70, I think 8 units for the year. So we're 22 away from hitting 100 units. I'm going to get the job done. Promise you guys. And yeah, thank you all the guys that have been sticking around and listening. Shout out to the guy that suggested I let you guys know what my most confidence picks are and what dogs I'm targeting. And yeah, everybody, let's look forward to a good weekend, safe weekend, and beat down these bookies. Thank you again for coming to Southpaw Picks. Catch you later.